Hello. Hi, I am live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Rumble. My name is Catherine Vitale. I am from Boston, Massachusetts, and I am a homeschooling mom, a former candidate, and hopefully future candidate for Boston City Council at large. And I have been an activist for the past 3 years. I'm also the state director of the Blexit, Massachusetts chapter. And I've worked on a few political campaigns, and I do random, spontaneous live streams on all of my platforms. We also stream live on Facebook, myself and the people that I work with in the activism world. When we do public actions or protests or demonstrations, we're usually live on Facebook on my personal Facebook account or Sean Nelson's personal Facebook account. For those of you who don't know us, Sean Nelson is also from Boston, and he also ran for Boston City Council at large with me last year. And we've been activists together for the past 3 years. In Boston mainly for the past 2 years, but we've done all types of direct actions and demonstrations and events all over Massachusetts. And we've worked with small groups of people, and we've networked all over the state. So the reason why I'm going live tonight, mainly because I am, like I said, I do spontaneous live streams, and I do these like conversations whenever there's an issue that's come up that I feel like needs to be talked about or needs to be addressed. And I'm trying to be more consistent with my posting because I'm not like that great at social media. So here I am. I think that it's important for those of us who understand what's going on in the world to be constantly in people's faces, reminding them and educating them and, helping them to see what's going on if they don't already. I think that it's more important for us to be talking to people that we disagree with rather than just repeating everything that we've been talking about for the past 4 years in echo chambers and in, familiar circles of people that we know. Which is why sometimes I do and say things that people consider controversial or aggressive or too much or whatever, because I think that it's important that we have uncomfortable conversations everywhere all the time, because that's the only way that we can make changes that will actually, be for the better. So I'm on here tonight because I had actually the first time ever I've gotten over 1 million views on one of my Twitter posts. And it's interesting because I made this post like maybe 2 weeks ago, and it's just been like going viral over the past 24 hours because of my dedicated team of trolls on Twitter. And it's pretty interesting how like the majority of the people in these comments on this post, there's like hundreds of comments. It's a post of me, a picture of me in my Trump hat that I wore out to an event in a neighborhood in Boston a couple weeks ago. And, I made like a funny like joke post, like, it seems like a nice day to go trigger some liberals, because I was planning on walking around at a Boston event with a Trump hat on, and that's not something that you typically see in Boston, right? And I'll have you know that some liberals were triggered at that event, and so much so that I actually was trying to buy a book from some like local socialist activists or something. I don't even know really what they were about, but they're definitely not about anything conservative. But they had some really good books on their table. And I was trying to buy a book from them, and they would not do business with me. They would not take my money. So that happened. But also, I did the hat. Wearing the hat that day did actually spark a really great conversation with this guy. They were from an organization called, like, I want to say Everyday Boston or something. I don't even remember. Sean, if you're here, maybe you remember, or maybe I'll remember later. But I need to like take a clip of that, because we usually live stream every time we go out and do something in public. So we were live streaming, I think, like pretty much that whole day that we were walking around at this event, me and Sean. And so the whole conversation with this guy was live streamed, and it was a really great conversation, because that's what the organization, it was like a street, not really festival, but it's called Open Streets in Boston, where a bunch of organizations or like local businesses will put out, they close down the streets to cars, and they let all these people like put out tables to promote their organizations or have activities, stuff for kids. They have music, all kinds of stuff. And it's like all day long, like 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. So one of the organizations, basically like their mission is to like create conversation, something along those lines. And so I walked up, to check them out and see what they were about. And they have like little, I don't know if they were like Post-it type things, that had like a question on them or like a topic to talk about, or like conversation starters. And so I asked him what it was about, and he asked me one of the questions on one of the cards that was like when is a time that you felt like your voice wasn't being heard or something. So I talked to him about if you follow us, you know that we were protesting the Boston Mayor, Michelle Wu, for a while in 2022 when she first got elected mayor. And we were protesting in front of her house, and she passed a city ordinance to ban us from protesting in front of her house, and then sent a list of our names to the Boston police and started having us arrested for disagreeing with her in public. So I got to talk to the guy about that, and he was, really into the conversation. Definitely not a Trump supporter. He said that he was registered to vote, but he has never voted, but he knows that orange man bad, right? So he was, seemingly very surprised at the way that the conversation was going and the way that he could relate to a lot of the things that me and Sean were talking about. Because I don't think that he's ever attempted to have a conversation with somebody who supports Trump, because I feel like, in most spaces in Boston, these things just don't happen. Like I said, people don't wear Trump hats. Like you don't talk, like all politics are just one way here. So nobody dares ever bring up Trump unless they're talking shit, or people don't try to have like conservative or Republican type conversations. Like even if you're like the people who are like somewhat moderate Democrats are considered conservative by the actual conservatives here. It's ridiculous. And so it was a great conversation. We talked to him for a while, and then we just continued on our day, walked around, talked to some of the people at some of the tables. And so no, when I made that post, I wasn't actually like going out to like start shit with people. It's like the post was a joke, and it still is, and it's hilarious, and it's amazing that it's getting this much viewership from all of these people who claim to not be triggered, but they're so not triggered that they just can't help but comment and let it be known to me that they're not triggered. Sounds kind of triggered to me. So thank you. I know. Thank you. This is one of my dedicated trolls right here. Thank you so much for helping me get so much visibility. I think that you were like the first one that posted. So the reason why this post, the reason why the post that I'm talking about went viral or is going viral, like still, is because I had an incident on Friday night where I had a little back and forth with a police officer who came up to me because I was pulled over in a bike lane in downtown Boston. And I ended up going live on Facebook while I was having the interaction with him. And right when I went live, he came over and told me that my license was suspended. And I had no idea. It's been suspended for almost 2 months now. And I was never notified. The funny thing is that I've been to the registry multiple times since it's been suspended and nobody has let me know. I've made payments on unpaid tickets. I've been trying to get up to date because my registration was due for renewal soon. And nobody ever let me know that my license was suspended. So he let me know that my license was suspended and I was shocked. And after that whole interaction was on the internet, my Twitter trolls somehow got that video from Facebook. So apparently they're not just Twitter trolls. They're watching me on Facebook too, which I think is really flattering, guys, that you devote so much time to keeping up with what I'm doing. I swear I'm really not that interesting, but I do appreciate the viewership. So they're over on Facebook watching my live streams, and they took some clips. And I think the original post about the suspended license issue said they worded it in a way that made it sound like my license was suspended because I was parked in a bike lane, and that's not what it was. My license was suspended because I have a balance on toll fees. So the way that it was worded, made it was like breaking, like city council candidate gets pulled over or gets stopped in a bike lane or gets told to leave the bike lane or whatever when she's parked in the bike lane and loses driving privileges. So like the people loved that, right? Which even funnier that somebody who was actually an elected city councilor, Kendra Lara, last year, Boston city councilor, she crashed her car into somebody's house last year with her child in the car, not in a seatbelt. And so and then we found out later that her license was suspended and that her license had been suspended like for years. So she was just routinely driving all over the place, driving into Boston City Hall to go to work every day with a suspended license. And for the record, I never commented on that. I actually defended her at some points when people did say stuff about it because I'm of the constitutional mindset where I don't think that we should have to have a license to travel. Like freedom of movement, freedom of travel is a right of ours, a God-given right. So I don't even think that we should have to have licenses. That being said, I still participate in that system because I don't think that it would be a great outcome if I chose not to, right? I've heard some pretty crazy stories about people trying to continue to travel with vehicles without licenses, and that's just not something that I'm attempting to do. However, when this whole situation happened with Kendra Lara, I was not, even though I'm not fond of Kendra Lara, and I did criticize her about a lot of the things she did while she was a city councilor. This was one instance where I did not criticize her, other than the fact that she crashed her car into somebody's house and then never apologized to the homeowner. Like, she apologized publicly, like with the microphones in her face, to her voters, but she never actually, like, just last month or just a couple weeks ago, she was ordered by the judge to apologize to the homeowner, which is pretty pathetic. But you know, I never said anything about her driving with a suspended license, because like that doesn't bother me. I don't think, you know, that particular detail about her doesn't make me think any less of her, because I don't care if somebody's driving with a suspended license, especially if it's a money issue. In my case, it's a money issue. And so, you know, once again, like poor people problems, we lose privileges when we can't afford to pay our bills. So privileges, right? So, but I just think it's funny because so many of her voters, she's like a socialist. So many of her like Democratic socialist voters and supporters were showing up to her court appearances. They were having her back on Twitter when all of the conservative people were attacking her all over Twitter. And it's like those same type of people that are now, you know, dragging me for this and that and every other reason, and tagging the Boston police on my post, like, oh, she's driving with a suspended license, blah, 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 blah. So that was actually the post that started getting a lot of attention, was the post about my suspended license. And then this guy right here, actually, which most of you can't even see, when this guy, Chip Goins, posts on Twitter, because he blocks all conservative accounts. So he like has this like schedule or routine of like unblocking and then blocking again some of us that he wants to post about or like obsess over. So he has like a legit obsession with myself and Sean Nelson, as you can see. And I'll keep him up here for a minute. So he is like infatuated with us. And so he, I believe, is the one who took the license post and like copied and pasted my post with the Trump hat from a couple weeks ago, because I'm sitting in the driver's seat of my car on a day where my license was suspended and I had no idea. So he's like, oh, hey, this you, don't you have a suspended license? Like tagging the Boston police or tagging DCF, saying that DCF should come investigate my parenting because I'm driving with a suspended license unknowingly. So that's the post that Chip shared. So again, Chip, thank you for all the visibility. It's great. I have the post has like 1.4 million views right now, I think. And yeah, so they're like obsessing over the Trump hat, triggered over the Trump hat, you know, per usual. And the funny thing is that oh no, I can't find that comment because he's commenting so much, that all of these comments are like fat shaming me, poverty shaming me, saying that I'm ugly, commenting on like my facial features, saying that I look like a man. There's quite a few people saying that I look like a man in the picture. And I just feel like that's very transphobic of you to say, because you have not confirmed my gender with me. And I just feel like all of you guys in the comments are like supposed to be the nice humans that are about body positivity and uplifting single mothers and empowering independent women and you know, supporting people on welfare. But when it comes to me, no. When it comes to me, I am the government leech. I am the grifter. I am the one who is living off of taxpayer money to try to become famous or make a name for myself or attach myself onto whatever topic is trending at the moment. So that's what, that's what they're all saying about me. These people who are such kind people who love everybody, because love is love, right? That's what the signs say. Love is love. They love everybody, and they want you to like be charged with a hate crime for misgendering somebody, and they want you to be canceled in life and lose your job for body shaming somebody, or shaming somebody on welfare and all of the things. But then here they are doing it to me. But it's okay to do it to me because Orange Man bad. Make it make sense. I don't know. There were some that said, there was somebody that said that I was a coward, and I just don't understand how I'm a coward when I'm like doing live streams all the time. I'm out in the streets talking to people all the time. I typically am like the one to attempt to talk to people that I already know beforehand that they disagree with me on a lot of things, or that they hate me for being an anti-vaxxer or a Trump supporter. And any of you are welcome to come on video and have a conversation about it. So just let me know and I'll put out the link. Chip, I've never even talked to you in person. I've never met you. If you want to come have a conversation on camera, we can do that. And I mean, I can call Chip by his name, Jonathan Goines, who I believe works for like somewhere in Harvard and WGBH or something. Because he puts his name out there. So I'll give him that. But the rest of the trolls do not. I don't know the names of any of the other trolls. So I can't offer them out because I don't know their names. But if any of you want to come on camera, then like come have a conversation with me. I mean, you post about me all day long. You are making my posts go viral. You're giving me tons of visibility. Come have a real conversation with me. And then call me a coward after that. And actually, funny story, the reason why I got unblocked by Chip Goines in the first place, because like I said, he blocks all conservative accounts. Like as soon as he comes across a conservative account, he blocks them. And he brags about like being probably the account on Twitter that has the most blocked people on it. And he blocks this conservative accounts so that way when he is dogging one of us, nobody can come in for backup. Nobody's going to come in and have our backs or defend us, because none of them can see that it's going on because he has them all blocked. It's a good strategy. It is because a lot of the stuff that's being said, and he's not the only one. This is like must be a well-known and talked about strategy amongst the Democrats. We could definitely learn from them. Because I've heard other people talking about it. I've seen other people talking about it. I've talked to some other activists in the Democratic world that said that, certain organizations like do keep lists of social media accounts, and, people's information so that they all know who to block. So, liberals that that love freedom and the First Amendment so much so that they don't want to hear anything that somebody who disagrees with them has to say at all. So so I've been the majority, like there's hundreds of comments of people just talking a whole bunch of nonsense about me. And then I love the people that are like, oh, you posted it. You posted about going out to spend your day triggering people, and now you're mad that like people are saying, whatever, saying things to you, or not people are coming back and saying rude shit to you or whatever. And I'm like, I'm not mad. I'm not mad at all. That my post has 1.4 million views. I've never had that many views on anything I've ever posted. So I'm not mad. It's kind of cool. I don't get mad. I don't let the opinions of people that I don't even know affect my feelings or get me triggered. I don't like, it takes a lot to get me triggered. I'll be honest with you. I'm usually a relatively calm person. I just like, it doesn't bother me like the way that you want it to. I'm sorry. And I wish that more people would be like that, because then we'd be able to have a lot more productive, uncomfortable conversations. Hold on, let me just look at the comments, because the catless cat lady Chip Goins is like going crazy here, and a lot of you, the other people in the comments probably can't even see what he's saying. Hold on. Okay. This is a nameless troll. I don't know who that is. If you want to tell me who you are. This is like Chip's sidekick or something. No idea who this person is. Right. I don't think I ever said that. I went from anti-vax. I don't know what that is, but anti-immigrants to get on TV, and it worked. I don't know what that means. Like, are people not allowed to care about more than one issue? And are most of the issues that I care about relatively conservative issues? So it makes sense that I would care about them because I'm conservative. I'm against all vaccines, and I'm against illegal immigration. So, and it says anti-migrants. I'm not against migrants or immigration. I'm against illegal immigration. I'm against people coming into the country illegally. Just like all of you think that I should be thrown in jail for driving with a suspended license, I don't think that we should be letting people walk around the country freely who broke laws to get here. All these Democratic left progressives who all claim about love and tolerance, claiming conservative and patriot and MAGA people are hateful people, but yet you're name calling, shaming, degrading a woman online while hiding behind anonymous accounts. Exactly, Sean. Thank you. I don't know. Why do you stalk my life? Why do you post about me all day, every day? Why did you just give me my first ever viral post? So I was going to say, the first time I ever had interactions with Chip, when Chip decided that I was like his new subject, was when I had myself and a friend had approached a local reporter in West Roxbury, which is a neighborhood in Boston. And this is somebody whose name I'm not even going to say. A local person who calls themselves a reporter that has their own website and does local reporting, right? Local, like, opinion pieces, not really reporting, opinion pieces. He, in his blog, writes about was in 2022 when we were protesting Michelle Wu a lot of the time. He was writing a lot of stuff about us, negative stuff about us, calling us anti-vax bucket bangers, and just always taking, the biased, opinionated route when writing about us. And had we never met him or talked to him or anything. And to me, that is really irresponsible. If you call yourself a reporter or a journalist, it's really irresponsible when you are writing, like defamatory things about somebody and you didn't even do your due diligence to interview them. Or to actually like research them and see if what you're printing is even correct. Like you're not a journalist, you're not a reporter, you're a blogger. You are now and never will be as good of a journalist as Turtle Boy, okay? Because everybody always wants to talk about Turtle Boy being a blogger and not a real journalist. This other guy will never compare because Turtle Boy interviews his people. Turtle Boy brings people on camera. Turtle Boy makes sure that what he's saying is true. And if it is proven not to be true, he retracts it. So this other guy, no. This other guy just writes whatever he feels, whatever will suit the mayor. He loves the mayor, Michelle Wu. And we had seen him at a standout in West Roxbury. A bunch of people were out there holding signs to oppose the bike lanes, the road diets that were being painted on the roads in West Roxbury. And this guy came up with his camera taking pictures, and myself and a friend went over to him, and obviously he knew who we were, we knew who he was, and we were like, hey, you want to talk? And I did it on camera. I was like, why don't you actually have a conversation with me, since you like to write about me and you blog so much? And he declined and like damn near ran away. And I posted that video and tagged him in it. And that guy never responded to it. Did not defend himself on Twitter at all. He may have even blocked me. However, Chip Goins unblocked me to defend that man. And since that day, I have hardly ever had a single day of my life that I've not gotten a notification that Chip Goins is talking about me again. So that's why I got, that was my introduction, to my personal introduction to Chip Goins. Another person who I have never met or talked to in person. But I'm the grifter. And he doesn't even follow me. That's the funny thing. Like, he literally comments on my stuff and retweets my stuff like within minutes of me posting it, but he doesn't follow me. Like, people dog me all day long for not having a job, but I don't spend nearly as much time on social media as you guys do. So I don't what are you people with jobs? How are you spending so much time on social media? I don't get it. See, they block all the conservatives so that nobody can ever have a team effort. Great strategy. Great way to be inclusive and diverse, is to just exclude all the people that disagree with you. I'm not crying. I'm talking because I have viewers, in part thanks to you. I appreciate it. Done nothing but lose elections. Republican. Triggering people with a hat supporting a guy who's done nothing but lose elections Republicans the last 4 years straight. Weird. that sentence kind of doesn't make a lot of sense. But he literally only wins elections. So I don't really know what you're trying to say there. And he's done many things. Why? Why is he supposed to arrest me? He didn't witness me driving. I wasn't driving. I was in park. It's funny how they harass you, calling you a criminal for your suspended license, but you say nothing about illegal immigration, which is a federal crime, and they say nothing. Hypocrites, right? There's people out here committing rapes and murders and all kinds of crime and child trafficking, because nobody can confirm that the children that they're bringing with them are actually theirs when they come over the way that they do. We've let at least 288,000 illegal immigrants into Massachusetts in the past 3 years. And they are taking over the schools, they're taking over the jobs, they're taking over the resources for low-income and homeless people. We have an area in Boston that we call Mass and Cass. It's the corner of Massachusetts Ave and Melnia Cass Boulevard. And we have a huge homeless population there. There used to be a whole encampment with tents all up and down one of the side streets, but the city went in and did a tent buyback and took all their tents away, so they don't even have the dignity of a little bit of privacy to go to sleep at night, and gave them $50 gift cards that they're obviously probably just going to go use to get drugs, because that's how much the city cares about people's health and safety. But at Mass and Cass, there was an engagement center for the people that are in active addiction that wanted to get help. I think it was only open for a couple of months. I heard that it closed like last November. So first of all, it wasn't open like nights and weekends, because like homeless people struggling in addiction apparently don't need help on nights and weekends. And there was also no cleaning happening on the weekends either. So from Friday night to Monday morning, trash would just pile up all over the street, and it smelled so bad down there. There were literally piles of trash. Like it's disgusting that there's places that look like this, literally down the street from everything, from all of us. It's like 10 minutes away from my house. And it's sickening that people are living like this in America, but there would be literally piles of trash come Monday morning. And then there would only be cleaning crews down there Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And the engagement center was there, but was only open for a short while. And at one point last year, they closed it to use it for processing some of the illegal immigrants in the area, to go and to assign them to wherever their shelters were going to be, because then they took over the limited shelter space that was in the area, in the old hotel and stuff down there that used to be used to shelter some of these homeless American citizens. Is now the homeless American citizens are not allowed there anymore. It's only for the illegal immigrants. So that's what they're doing with a lot of places in Boston and in Massachusetts. They're just giving up all of our resources to these people who are here illegally and have a lot of them have zero respect for us or our country. And I mean, I would go as far as to say that these people aren't even struggling financially. They have money. Like, we were protesting at the Roxbury Recreation Center, Melnia Cass Recreation Center in Roxbury, which is another neighborhood of Boston. We were protesting over there when they first shut that down to American citizens and used it to be a shelter for illegal immigrants. And we did some standouts over there, and we saw them coming in and out of the building, getting onto school buses. And that, I mean, they don't dress like they're struggling financially. They have iPhones. They do not look like they've got it so rough, like so much so that they had to flee wherever they were and could not wait for their asylum to be approved from where they were. And you know, the taxpayers are paying for laundry services for them, for catered food for them. And it's just disgusting. Yeah, that's probably what it is. But what I'm saying is, like, where do you have the time? Like, I mean, okay, I guess probably he doesn't have kids because he says catless cat lady. So I guess there's that. But again, for people who spend all day long dogging me because I don't have a job at the moment, I'm not on the internet half as much as you are. And do you do anything else on the internet besides make posts about me? I don't know. I'll never forget the time you sent Charlie Baker hacking. He literally ran like a scared kid. You responded to his comment, the vaccine saves lives. You said there's no evidence of that. His expression said it all. Then he turned and ran away. Was that in Roxbury that time? we got Charlie Baker good a few times. A few times. I think you're talking about when we were in Roxbury, though, which that credit goes to Padma. She got him there. Yeah, Charlie Baker was a fun one to get. Thanks for the memories. It seems as though they do think that people who don't pay a parking ticket go to driver's ed. Again, like, you guys have so much to say. Just come on the video. I will send you the link. You can come here. We can hash it out. I'll even put on my Trump hat so you can get extra triggered. Like, let's do it. Why not? Especially this guy who, I mean, I don't know. Is it a guy? I have no idea. I don't know who this person is. Candidate for mayor, you have to have a name and an address for that. You know who is a candidate for mayor, though? A great one. Jorge Mendoza. He spoke at the 2A rally the other day. He was great. It's a restaurant owner in the North End. Italian restaurant, Monica's. Conservative candidate against Michelle Wu next year. Oh, I lost the comment again. Yeah, so I don't know. I just try to get people informed, and I try to get people to be motivated and activated to stand up for their rights and stand up for what they believe in, and to understand what's going on in the world with American politics, world politics, everything that's happening is not an accident. It's not a coincidence. These politicians do not make their own decisions. They are told what to do. They follow orders. There is a small group of people that are controlling the whole world. And the agenda is to take our cars away and force us into tiny homes, tiny apartments, 15-minute cities. And these guys are dying for that. They're like, they love it. They want to just be enslaved by the global elite and just have no rights or privileges or anything. Just, go ride around in their bike lanes and not have to worry about stupid people with cars, and just go downstairs for their gym and their doctor and their grocery store and not ever have to go anywhere outside of their 15-minute little radius. That's funny that you say that, because I don't know if you saw that I made a post about my Section 8 utility payment earlier. Because the people that work for Boston Housing Authority are incompetent and can't figure out how to fix an error they made 6 months ago. So I just have not received my utility payment. So that was funny. But I did get a response from the director of the department I was trying to contact after I made that tweet. So sometimes you just have to make a public statement and people respond. Crazy concept, I know. Yeah, so, I mean, again, like, the invitation's always there. If you guys ever get sick of typing and want to come, like, have an actual conversation and stop being cowards hiding behind a screen, I'm always open to an uncomfortable conversation. I'll send you the link. You can come on here. You can have your friends watch. Give me more viewership. You can pretend that you're triggering me while it's you who's triggered. Yeah. So I don't know. I think that I just wanted to make sure that I came on here and at least put the offer on the table to have like a real live conversation with somebody who wants to dog me on the internet. As I always say, the amount of people in the comments never compares to the amount of viewers. So thanks for the viewership, but you should participate, especially if you care so much so that you need to make comments telling me how untriggered you are, or telling me how ugly I am because you're that bothered by my red hat that you think that you're going to hurt my feelings by commenting on my appearance or my income or my living situation or my parenting situation, my homeschooling situation. I don't know. There's a lot for people to talk about, and people have a problem with every single aspect of the way that I live my life. And I don't know if it's extra triggering because I like have no reaction for you because I don't care what you think about my life, and that's why I always talk about my life. So it's not like, I don't know, but it's like you're trying to expose something that I've already exposed myself. I don't know. Okay. You guys are so cute. I wish that somebody would ever like come on camera and have a conversation with me, though. That would be so much more entertaining because I am not an entertaining person, I know. And my voice is a very annoying one. Right? It's like I want to end this because like I don't like there's really not much going on here right now and I'm really tired. It's been a long day. I've actually got quite a bit accomplished today. And I just want to go to bed because I have another long day tomorrow. But I almost kind of just want to sit here and like just see how much time you're going to continue to invest in commenting here. Like, could I keep you up all night? Like, am I that amusing or fun to watch? I don't know. Like, what is it? Thank you. I appreciate that. But it's not yeah, I don't know. It's not about me. It's about God. You know, I know that I've had the experiences that I've had in life because I'm supposed to use them to try to help other people, right? I think. Who's Marie? I didn't see a Marie. I don't see a Marie. She stepped up to stand against the bullshit happening and has been active in doing things to implore others to also stand up and be actively involved. Before you assume things about people, you should know them better. Thank you. I agree. Like I said, I wasn't going to get off, but I'm going to go to the bathroom real quick. I'll be right back. See if you guys are still here. If not, good night. I'm right here.
Hi.
Hi. You're all still here. Wow. Okay. What was I just gonna say? That last comment, I left it up for a reason because I wanted to say something about something. Okay, this reminds me of a few of the comments that I got on this viral post. Yes, I am out of breath because I just walked to the bathroom. Like, I'm fat. Get over it. So, and I smoke cigarettes. Just get over it. Like, it doesn't hurt my feelings that you point out the obvious things about me. So there were at least a handful. I don't know. I can't keep up with all the comments because there's hundreds and hundreds of comments on the thing. But I saw at least a handful of comments of people whose profiles would imply that they are conservative or Republicans, Trump supporters, freedom-minded people that were also, there was one woman who said Trump supporters are supposed to be pretty. And in another comment, she called me ugly. And then there was a guy who was following me already, like prior to this post. And I think he commented on the one about the license and said that like I made myself look like a a sloppy dunce or something like that. And also like conservative or Trump supporting, or like, one of those types of people who you would think would agree with me on things. And that's the problem with the Republicans and the conservatives, is that you guys are so full of yourselves, a lot of you, like full offense, because it's hurting your party and it's hurting the balance of this state, because that's why we're so far deep blue, and there's absolutely no balance, and there's no like moderacy, if that's the word, because you guys can't get over yourselves. You like we are the main Republicans that we have, I feel like, are like country club Republicans who are just happy with their lives and are just in, elected positions or party positions just as a status symbol or something. Like, I don't know, but there's people who are supposed to be like on the same side as me, which I don't believe in the two side bullshit, but for optics, right? People who are supposed to be on the same side as me that claim that they agree with me on things or whatever, they don't like me because I'm an anti-vaxxer. Like, the COVID vaccine is one thing, but all the other vaccines are safe and effective. Okay, like, you want to be ignorant, then go be ignorant. Like, why do you have to hate me because I have seen through the ignorance? Or like, I was talking to a guy the other day after the 2A rally that was like, thought that I was going to be super offended because he said, "Oh, I don't like that you protest in front of the mayor's house. Like, I love the things that you stand for and everything. I just don't agree with going to somebody's house." And he thought that I was going to be wicked offended. Like, okay, so you don't agree with that. Then when you're doing public action, don't go to somebody's house if you don't feel comfortable going to somebody's house. The way I see it is, if an elected official is committing treason, then all bets are off. Like, if you want to go out and scream in front of their house because they're literally ruining people's lives and taking away their livelihoods over a dollar sign, then and killing people over a dollar sign, then they should have no mercy. You should be in front of their house yelling. If you're not, you should be ashamed of yourself. So, but I'm not going to be offended if you disagree with my tactics and you still agree with me on other things. Like people, the conservative type people, it's just like you just complain and complain and complain about all the things and about being in such a deep blue state and how it's never going to change. It's never going to change because of you. It's never going to change because instead of supporting the most viable Republican candidate, you're going to pick and choose why he's a rhino and go right in somebody who has no chance whatsoever. It doesn't make any sense. And you guys are the biggest shit talkers. You guys are the ones to complain the most and complain about you get what you vote for, and you get what you vote for. I mean, that is a trigger for me, because you can't vote for something that's not on the ballot. So Mass GOP doesn't recruit anybody. They don't have people running. They'd rather run 3 Republicans in a primary than actually try to recruit one person for each race to run against a Democrat. So, yeah, I have a handful of these people commenting on my post, mad about me driving with a suspended license when I didn't know I had a suspended license. And again, I wouldn't be sitting in a bike lane arguing with a cop about being illegally parked in a bike lane if I knew I had a suspended license. I know you guys think that I'm stupid, but give me some credit. Like, no, I'm not going to do that. The only times I've been arrested for things that like shouldn't even be crimes, because all my cases have been dismissed. I've had 3 cases. I mean, if you count a while ago, I was arrested for driving with a suspended license. Again, didn't know that it was suspended. But that time I had nobody to drive my car back. So I did get arrested that time, but then I cleared it up and that was dismissed. Right. And so in 2022, I was arrested 3 times because of activism. And 2 of the cases were dismissed pretty much because I had video evidence proving that what was in the police reports and what the police were saying were lies, like blatant lies. And then the third one lasted 3 years, and we ended up going to a jury trial and defending ourselves and being found not guilty. So big criminal I am. But I mean, all of those things are literally nothing. And, you know, mainly because I'm a targeted person as somebody who has dissenting views from the local government. I'm literally number 2 on Michelle Wu's enemies list. So, you know, it's like the same thing with Trump, like a convicted felon. Okay. But it's his political opponents who are putting him through trial. But democracy, right? Like, you guys are all for fair and free elections. Transparency. But one political side jailing the people on the other political side, like, you're cool with that as long as you're on the side that's doing the jailing. But otherwise, like, abolish prisons and fucking make everything a free-for-all. You don't make any sense. Nothing that you guys say or do has any logic to it, right? I know I'm getting off the topic that I was trying to talk about because I have more points to make about these Republicans and conservatives in Massachusetts that keep losing because of their own actions, because they don't want to put in the work. I've literally probably heard maybe like top 5 to 10 Republicans throughout the past 4 years that I've been networking with these people talk about door knocking. It doesn't get done. I mean, maybe in the suburbs. I've heard some people talking about knocking thousands of doors in the suburbs, but very few. Republicans don't want to do any work. They already have money. I don't know why they're even involved in politics if they don't care to do anything about it. And these people in my comments just like talking shit about my suspended license, and then about me saying or about my looks. That's another thing with conservatives, is they're very the ones that don't do anything always have something to say about somebody's looks. I know everything should be free. UBI for everybody except me. Only I should be forced out of welfare to get a job and send my kids to the government indoctrination centers, so that I can slave away for a paycheck that can't afford even a portion of my rent. And everybody else should get free everything, which is not me, because I disagree with you guys. I know you guys really should follow this account. Died suddenly. They get some not some good shit, not good shit at all. They get important information that everybody needs to see. You should definitely follow that account. Tomorrow, or even probably tonight, Chip will be posting like a meme of me, like with a comb stabbing my face. Like, he'll have something funny about my comb touching my face or something. I don't know. He posts I used to or not used to. I mean, I still do. I just did the other day, but smoke cigarettes on my live streams, which tons of people have a problem with that, and I don't think it looks great either. I agree. But he's got screenshots of me smoking a cigarette on a live. And I mean, I would love to see his camera roll. I really would. That's hilarious. Oh, yeah, this one too. Democrats against UN Agenda 21. A lot of helpful information. Oh, there's Marie. Took away your livelihood. No, I wasn't talking about me. I was saying that I was protesting in front of Michelle Wu's house because that's what she deserves. And that's what any tyrant deserves when they are coming for people's families and jobs and livelihoods. There's like 33,000 people employed by the city of Boston. And she enforced a vaccine mandate where they had to get the vaccine or lose their job. So people who had been employees of the city for decades had to make a very messed up decision. And a lot of them, and in the end, actually, nobody was forced to take the vaccine. There was an injunction in court, and the vaccine mandates actually never were fulfilled. But when it got time for the deadline, probably thousands of people, I would say, I know at least, I've heard from at least like 10 to 20 of them that went and got the vaccine because it was about to be the deadline and they didn't want to lose their job. And then they had health problems after. I mean, if you just like literally, I mean, you can honestly even Google at this point, because Google is not really like a trusty search engine, because it's going to give you like all propaganda and all, you know, what the establishment wants you to see. But even if you Google like, you know, Boston police officer, sudden, unexpected, like there's tons, or Massachusetts State Police. And I mean, if you see, you know, somebody who was healthy and likely in shape, as a lot of police officers and firefighters are, and then you see, you know, young ones too, like in their 20s, 30s, 40s, dying suddenly and unexpectedly, and they still have their jobs, so you know that means that they got the vaccine. There's a 99% chance that they got the vaccine, because there's very few people that didn't go through with it. And I'm probably going to get like a strike on YouTube for this conversation right now. My Facebook will be suspended. My YouTube channel is going to be shut down. But you can Google like whatever type of person you want to look for, and the words like sudden, unexpected. And you're going to see over the past 3 years, so many people have lost their lives. So many young people, so many healthy people. And, you know, a thing to think about with COVID too, for the haters that are watching, for the people who disagree with me, who think that I'm crazy conspiracy theorist, whatever you want to think about me. You know, how many people do you know that died of COVID that didn't go to the hospital? Anybody in the comments? Does anybody know anybody that actually died of the virus that wasn't in the hospital? That wasn't put on a ventilator, where hospitals were given like $13,000 incentives to use for every patient that got put on a ventilator, $13,000 for the hospital. So you know. Yeah, but I'm not going to justify smoking. Like, I quit before, I'll quit again. I'm not proud that I do it. Or that I, have a habit. But, I know all of the obvious things about smoking. It's not like something I'm proud of. But the difference between me smoking a cigarette and anybody getting a vaccine is that the government and the healthcare industry and the celebrities and all of the people who are literally doing business with the pharmaceutical industry in one way or another are telling you that it's capable of saving your life. Nobody's telling me that a cigarette is capable of saving my life. They're telling you that this jab could possibly save your life, and that is a bold-faced lie. Whether the person who's saying it to you knows it or not, because I don't think any doctor, anybody who goes through medical school and gets into the medical field, I don't think any of those people are evil people or people who want to do harm to people at all. I think that probably the vast majority of them, probably in the 90 something percentiles, genuinely want to save lives. Why else would you get in the medical field unless you're like crazy, right? So I'm not saying that doctors are lying to people, but the doctors are trained by the industry that is profiting off of these drugs. So you're being lied to. You're being told that something is life-saving. It's a life-saving thing, and it's not. I'm not being told that about cigarettes. I know the risks that come with smoking cigarettes. You do not know the risks that come with getting these jabs. And it's not just the one. It's all of them. None of them are safe. But you're not aware of that because everybody that you're listening to is either misinformed or blatantly purposely lying because they have too much to lose for telling the truth. Right. We don't force kids to smoke. We don't tell kids that they can't go to school or they can't go to extracurricular activities unless they're smoking. That's not a thing. There's no cigarette smoking mandates. You don't know that. Like, shut up. It's like you try to say something and then you're proven wrong. So you just got to go to the next thing that you can think of. Like, shut up. You're ridiculous. Do you know how minuscule the taxes? It's like I sound like a Democrat right now explaining how welfare works. The tiniest percentage of each person's tax money goes to welfare. And I pay taxes too. I pay taxes. I paid taxes. I've worked since I was 16 years old. I'm 34. I have been unemployed for 2 years. Get over it. And I'm hardly unemployed. I do tons of work. I do public demonstrations. I homeschool my kids. I am a parent. I am a single parent at that. Yeah, get over it. The taxpayers pay for my cigarettes. And what are you going to go out to Mass and Cass and talk shit to the people in the streets, telling them that their food stamps that they're using to buy drugs, the taxpayers are paying for that? Do you have a problem with that? Are you ridiculing those people? But me, who did what I had to do, went into a homeless shelter with my kids, has a roof over my kids' heads, provides for my kids, teaches my kids, there's a problem with me and my use of taxpayer money. Like, why are you not concerned about Michelle Wu's use of taxpayer money? Are you? Why don't we talk about her use of taxpayer money? Why don't we talk about Maura Healey and the Department of Public Health's use of taxpayer money? Why don't we talk about how much does it cost to plaster the entire state and put internet commercials all over the place saying avoid anti-abortion clinics? How much taxpayer money did that cost? Why are we not talking about Michelle Wu's salary or Maura Healey's salary or the Boston City Council's salary? Why don't you look at how much money the Boston City Council makes compared to all of the other local government officials in the other municipalities around the state? Because I guarantee that nobody else or very few make anywhere near what the Boston City Council makes. And what do? They go to social events and family events and parties. That's what they do. And they make discriminatory, self-serving city ordinances. And they fucking paint lines all over the street and congest traffic and claim that it's better for the environment when there's hundreds of cars idling in the streets for hours because we need all this space for bikes and buses. Why don't you complain about those taxpayer dollars? Why don't you complain about the millions of dollars that we spent on all of the brand new electric school buses that we got, and how one of them went up in flames and nobody even talked about it. 4 children ended up in the hospital from smoke inhalation. We're not talking about those tax dollars, but you want to talk about my fucking welfare? My fucking $700 a month? Like, stop it. Get over yourself. And with no picture. Why don't you come on camera and have a conversation, Marie? Forced peanuts. Oh. Why don't you go talk to the other welfare recipients? Yeah, Marie. Do you want to come on the video and have like a friendly debate or something? Have we met in person, Marie? Because it always tends to be the people who I've never met in person that hate me the most. Like, there's like one special case, this woman named Rita. She's like actually, well, she has met me in person, but we never actually like had a real conversation. So I guess I can't even go there. But people who meet me in person don't typically like disagree. But I was talking earlier about how when me and Sean went to the Hyde Park Open Streets like 2 weeks ago, and there were some like socialist activists there selling books. I'm pretty sure they're activists. I don't know. People don't usually get passionate about conversations like this unless they're doing some type of activism. And actually, one of them did give me like a list of books and authors to look into. But they had a table of books, and a lot of the books were books that I would be interested in reading or listening to on like an audio reading, because I'm not really a reader, but I like to have books and like try. But they have a lot of really great looking books, and I wanted to buy one, and they wouldn't take my money because I was wearing a Trump hat. That was the day that I made that post that I was going to go trigger some liberals. They wouldn't sell me a book. But why did I just talk about them again? Oh, me and Sean stood there and had conversation with them, and it wasn't all horrible either. You can disagree with somebody and not hate them. Can we elaborate on what? Can I elaborate on what? Where is this? I must be not able to see some comments or something because I don't even see what you're replying to. Maybe I can post the link in the chat, right? Yeah. If anybody wants to come on and talk, there's plenty of viewers. I don't know why I find myself kind of boring, but people want to watch. Let's have a conversation. Let's have an uncomfortable conversation. Why not? Did my comment come through on all the platforms? Because I can only see it on YouTube comments, and I don't even think anybody's watching on YouTube. Although I don't think that anybody's going to take the offer and come on camera, because why on earth would there be 400 people watching me right now and a single person would want to, and they're hate watching because they're not even commenting. So they don't even want people to know that they're watching. Because there's only maybe like 5 to 8 people commenting. And they're just cowards. They say that I'm dumb and I'm uneducated and I'm a grifter and I'm all of these things, but they can't have a conversation with me. Yeah, so if nobody else wants to come on and talk, then I could probably be done here. We can all go to bed. Unless you guys have any questions about anything. Oh, yeah. Oh, so I'm live on Instagram and I can't see my Instagram comments apparently. Hold on, let me try to see them. I'm new to Instagram Live, guys. I don't really understand how it works. I can't figure out how to make a video stay there after you're not live anymore. If anybody knows how Instagram Live works, please help me out. How do I even see my live? I can't even see my own live. So I can't look at my comments on Instagram because I can't even see my own live. Hold on. Let's learn. Oh, okay. Okay. Emily, hi. That's so funny. It's been years. Hi, Pierre. Pierre, if you're still watching, come join me on camera. We can do the same thing that we did on your live the other day. Because my people didn't get to see that conversation. Well, not my people, but my trolls didn't get to see that conversation. And they would probably be on your side. So that would be funny. So you should let me know if you want to come on. If somebody on Instagram could send him a message and tell him to come on, that would be funny. Hold Somebody on Instagram said Republicans want to cut welfare and Medicaid. That's your life. I also want to do that in a way. I agree with that. Just because I'm on welfare doesn't mean that I think that it's a great thing. It's a broken system, and it's broken on purpose. It's meant to keep us content with living in poverty. It's meant to make us comfortable living in poverty. I mean, look at me, right? Perfect example. As you will hear from all of my dedicated trolls, they say I won't get a job because I'm on welfare. It is extremely hard to get out of the welfare system once you're in it, especially when you're in it as deep as I am. Because unfortunately, the father of my children didn't stick around. So I was pretty much had no other choice but to go into a shelter with my kids. And because it was in a shelter, I ended up with Section 8. So not only do I have food stamps and cash welfare, but I also have Section 8. So the more assistance that you need in your rough patch or whatever, the harder it is for you to get away from it, the harder it is for you to get out of it. So it's a horrible system. It's set up for people to fail. It's set up so that it's so hard to get out that people just don't even bother trying to get out. So, and I'm not against it. I don't want to get rid of it. I think that there should be assistance for people who need it, but there needs to be a whole completely different structure. What exactly that structure is, I have a little bit of a plan and an idea, but I don't claim to have the answers. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here to have conversations, and I'm here to talk to people who think that they disagree with me, and try to see if we can find common ground, because division, what is it, DEI, division, exclusion, and inequity has taken over everybody's brains, and they think that if somebody's wearing a red hat, then they're racist, white supremacist, anti-LGBTQ, anti-poor people, all of these things. And then vice versa, somebody has a rainbow flag or a Black Lives Matter flag or whatever, then those people hate white people, or they're pro-abortion, or all of these stereotypes and all of these buzzwords and all of these things that we're manipulated to think about each other, is all a distraction. So that's what I try to do, is have civil conversations. And I'm not even that great at conversations either. I'm not. I'm a socially awkward person, but I try to have conversations with people who disagree with me, because I don't see enough of that happening. And I do it in hopes that people will see me, a very uncomfortable person, doing it, and it might inspire them to do it, so that maybe if more people do it, then I would do less of it and not be so cringe, as my kids say. Yeah, so somehow the viewership keeps increasing. This is so weird to me, because I'm talking less and less. I don't think I'm saying anything significant, and the number just keeps going up. So I don't know. But nobody has questions. Nobody has anything that they want to talk about. Nobody wants to come on camera and stop hiding behind a screen. There's almost 500 people watching this. There's maybe 5 people commenting. What are you scared of? I'm just a unemployed mom on welfare, grifter. Come talk. I really am just like tempted to see, like, if I just sit here silently, are you guys gonna leave or? Some states have far better plans that empower women to re-enter the world post addictions, beat down, and become able to see that they are valuable. People have ideas, but at the end of the day, everything is planned. It's a global initiative. So even if some places might act a little bit differently in the moment, it's all going to end up in the same place, which is why, people say to leave Massachusetts. And it's not running away. It's a tactical retreat, but it's what's happening here is going to make its way everywhere. So it's just a matter of time. The paddy wagon. What paddy wagon? What about? I've been in a couple. What about the paddy wagons? I didn't see your question. Can you comment it again? Sarah? Sarah. That does not say Sarah. Whatever that says. Can you ask the question again? Because I don't see it. My daughter was a single mom Democrat until she got caught in the system. You don't know what you don't know. Right. I voted for Obama twice. Back when I knew nothing about politics, and I just thought that it was a really great thing to have the first Black president. And then I still knew nothing about politics when I voted for Trump in 2016. That was just the choice that made sense to me. Like, it seemed clear that would be the choice in that one. And then, then all of a sudden, like, people that I grew up with deleted me off of Facebook because I was like racist now or something. I'm still seeing this. I commented, but you didn't answer my question. But like, are you going to ask the question again? Oh, now I see this on YouTube. If you're still here, come in. Also, I'm on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm on 5 different platforms right now. So like, you are only seeing the Twitter comments, but I'm seeing Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. So maybe that's why I missed your question, or maybe like I'm not getting all the comments because it's not great connection or something. I don't know. I would never want Hillary to be the first female. I have daughters, right? Or Kamala. Give me something to talk about, guys. I'll talk if you want to hang out. I just feel like I'm like repeating the same things over and over again. And I'm actually like looking forward to seeing what this person's question is, and now they're not going to repeat it or something. Did anybody else see that person's question? What prompted me to start what? This live stream? This live stream or like this work that I do? Your run, my run? Run for office? I ran for office last year, if that's what you're referring to. I'm not currently a candidate for anything. God willing, I will be a candidate. Yeah, I'm running for city council. Yeah. So if God will have it that way, I will be a candidate for Boston City Council next year. Those elections are every 2 years. I ran last year. I came in 8th place. There were 8 candidates. And so there were 4 seats. I ran for at-large, which is the whole city of Boston. And there were 8 candidates. 3 of them were incumbents. So they all 3 got in. And then the 4th person to get in was one of Mayor Michelle Wu's guys, like 27-year-old idiot. And then my friend Sean Nelson, who's in the comments here, who I do like most of my activism with, me and him both ran together for 2 of the spots out of the 4 seats that were up for election. And he came in 6th place and I came in 8th place. I had like about 8,500 votes and he had almost 11,000 votes. So, and I was super impressed by those results because anybody who has been a part of a political campaign or has, seen how political campaigners run would look at our campaigns and think that we didn't really run much of a campaign. Like we did a lot, we tried, we put in a decent effort for what we had, we did our best with what we had, but we had really amazing numbers for the amount of work that we were able to do because we had extremely limited funds, because there were tons of people that like supported us, but when you're in Boston, everybody is so like scared to be canceled or to be outcasted or whatever. So they don't want to put their name on like, the conservative or Republican people, the Trump supporters, the anti-vaxxers, whatever. Everybody just finds some reason to be embarrassed by what we do when really what we do is just tell the brutal, honest truth everywhere that we go. And I mean, even, there were like a lot of candidate forums. There were a lot of things, events and forums and stuff that we were excluded from because we are not Democrats, even though, well, not only that we're not Democrats, just that people didn't take us seriously because they knew that we were protesters with Michelle Wu. They knew that we were arrested a couple times in 2022. So people thought that we were just like protest candidates and, we were just doing it like to make a point or something. So people didn't really take us seriously. And also they know that we're conservative. So people were not supporting us as much as they were supporting the conservative Democrats, because that's a thing here, apparently. I don't remember where I was going with that. I think that we did well. That our numbers were a lot higher than I thought that they were going to be. If the cabal will let you in, right? Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's in God's hands, whether or not that will happen next year. But we do have a really great candidate that has already announced that he's running against Michelle Wu for mayor next year. His name is George Mendoza or Jorge Mendoza. And he owns an Italian restaurant in the North End and like pasta shop, deli type thing. He ran a write-in campaign for a city council special election in 2022, and he announced his candidacy 5 days before the race and got 10% of the vote. So that was a pretty big deal. We did great with that. And now he is going to run for mayor next year. So that's pretty cool. And he just spoke at the rally. We had a 2A rally at Boston Common on Saturday, and he spoke there. So that was cool. What the fuck is a conservative Democrat? That's it, Erin Murphy. Like, that's a conservative Democrat. That is who the people, Erin Murphy and Brittany Walsh and Ed Flynn and Frank Baker. But Frank Baker didn't run for re-election. And Frank Baker had a little bit more balls than the rest of them and stuck his neck out a little bit more and was more like anti-woo than anybody else, but he still was weak. And but those are the ones that they consider conservative. Like big name conservatives or Republicans were putting money behind those candidates. And they're all Democrats. But they didn't, those same big money people wouldn't endorse me and Sean, even though we were actually conservatives, like out loud, and everybody knew. And we made very clear stances. And that's what I was going to say. When we would go to the candidate forums and there would be a panel of all 8 candidates, everybody's answer to all the questions, they would go down the line. Everybody's answer would be the same. And then you'd get to me and Sean, and our answers would be different. Not always completely opposite of the other people's answers, but different. And it's like, people were like, oh my God. Like, did they just disagree with the rest of them? And I'm like, what is the point of a forum? What is the point of like a debate or a forum if everybody has the same stance on everything? Isn't the point that you run for office to make a change in things? So if you all agree on everything, what are we changing here? We just think that everything's going great and everything should stay the way that it is. And here's my question for Boston voters. Like, if you were so unhappy with everything that happened over the past couple of years, then why did you just keep the same people in there? Doesn't make any sense. I'm not joking. Like, the number of viewers keeps going up. I don't understand. Yeah, and also I was saying yesterday too about Erin Murphy's campaign, because so Erin Murphy took a conservative spot, right? She was every conservative Boston voter's number 1 pick was Erin Murphy. And then like a month or 2 into her term, into this year, she announces that she's running for the SJC Clerk of Courts. So everybody's money and work and time and everything that went into her getting that conservative spot was all for nothing. And so if Erin Murphy gets elected, she will go to that position. And then Brittany Walsh, who was the next conservative Democrat, will get that spot. She'll go in January because she was 5th. So, but Erin Murphy she has a like sponsored ad that I saw on Facebook the other day, and she refers to herself as a legislator. And I have a problem with that because most of us, well, I mean, it's public school, public indoctrination and, dumbing us down, like the dumbing down of all Americans throughout the decades. We are not educated on how local government operates or how it's supposed to operate according to like the Constitution and the way that our government was built. So, I mean, first of all, we refer to our government as a democracy. It's not a democracy. I do not pledge allegiance to the democracy. I pledge allegiance to the republic. It's a constitutional republic. So the difference between a constitutional republic and a democracy is that a democracy is mob rule. So basically, like the 51% get to decide what goes, regardless of what the other 49% feel, right? So if you don't understand why that's dangerous, I can try to break it down. Because what happens when the mob is evil? What happens when the mob thinks that murder shouldn't be a crime? Like I'm saying something extreme because, like, right now it is that way, and the mob is being led by evil, but they don't know that, right? So, from your point of view, when the mob is evil, and the types of people who would actually pass legislation to say that, like, murder is not a crime, pedophilia is not a crime, these things are okay, or like, get rid of prisons, get rid of law and order, just let everybody do what they want, and take away everybody's guns so there's no defense. So that's how you end up in a dangerous place or a dictatorship, because when it's mob rule, it's people actually get to dictate how you live your life. So when it's a constitutional republic, we're ruled by a constitution. So the Constitution is the supreme law of the land, and nothing is supposed to infringe on those, our basic constitutional rights, the Bill of Rights. So, if people can vote how they want to vote and, make governmental decisions how they want to make them, but you have the individual liberty to live the way that you want to live. So if you don't want to participate, you don't have to. If you want to go live off the grid, you can do that. In a democracy, you can't do that. In a democracy, you're basically like communism with training wheels. Like you're just on your way to communism and absolute dictatorship, where there is no individual liberty. There is just people who tell you how you can live and who make everything, they force everything to be so that they are in complete control, down to where you're allowed to travel, where you're allowed to buy food, if you're allowed to buy food, so if you are if you're not behaving well, if your social credit score is not where it needs to be this week, you don't get to buy groceries. So sorry, but when your metal chip in your wrist gets scanned when you're trying to walk in the grocery store, the door's not going to open for you because you were not a good slave this week or whatever. Like, and that's what's happening. And people want to say that sounds crazy, but have you seen the surveillance all over the place? I mean, we were just at the Parkman Bandstand in Boston Common on Saturday, and there's cameras all around the whole thing. Now, they will tell you that there's cameras everywhere, wherever you go, for your safety. But just remember that every time the government says that they're doing something for your safety or your health or to protect you, it's usually the exact opposite. It's a lie. There's cameras everywhere so that they can keep track of people and watch what we're doing. And, if you think that these cameras are not picking up audio, they are. They are illegally recording your conversations and listening to what's happening, and the shot spotters that allegedly pick up the sounds of gunshots that are here so that we can combat crime. They don't just pick up gunshots, they're recording audio all day long, and there's surveillance everywhere. And it's so that they can keep tabs on us of what we're doing and where we're going and where we're shopping and who we're affiliated with and all of these things. And what else was I just going to say? And then, they have like those machines in the parking lots with the blue flashing lights that announce really loudly that you're being recorded for your safety and protection. And it's conditioning us into complacency and like just being content and okay with living in a police state, because that's where we're headed. And what else was I just going to say about that? Oh no, I lost my train of thought. I'm so tired. What was I going to say? If anybody has any good points to make about surveillance, please put it in the comments, because I had a good point and I lost it. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Why do you think that they're remodeling all the playgrounds to add in the surveillance equipment? There's a massive public safety building being built in Brockton right now, and there's a massive new police station being built in Quincy. Those are only two buildings that I know of, and I found out about them accidentally. I was gonna say that they're also lying about the numbers of crimes and the numbers of homicides in Boston, probably in Massachusetts, but at least definitely in Boston. Because so what happened was, when Rachel Rollins was the DA, she had like the Rollins 15. For 15 criminal offenses that would no longer be prosecuted, like nonviolent offenses. And so with that, there's been a huge increase in shoplifting and robberies. Tons of, like, I mean, if you even go to like South Bay Mall, that's on the line of Dorchester and South Boston, you go in those stores, everything's locked up in cases. Because everybody knows it's like, what, like $1,200, or maybe it's even higher than that. I don't even know. Up to a certain big, large amount of money worth of goods, you're not going to be prosecuted. So like, if the number is 1,200, you go in there and you steal $1,100 worth of merchandise, you're just going to get let go, dismissed. You're not going to be prosecuted. And they know that. So they're just walking in with a cart and walking out with a full cart, and nobody's stopping them. Nobody's doing anything about it, because there's no point. I've heard of a couple of instances where people have just like walked in and ramshacked stores and robbed them and destroyed merchandise and ran out, and the police come, and the police are like, we can't do anything. Like, they get arrested and then they just let them right back out. Like, it's out of our hands. So sorry that your store just got destroyed, but there's nothing we can do. And there was I know that this guy that I used to know, that I knew when I was a teenager from Southie, died last year. Got murdered and dismembered. and they chopped up his body and put him like in a dumpster, like a shopping cart behind a dumpster or something. And there was this Twitter account that reports on like BPD incidents and stuff that was looking into it. I haven't seen any updates, but they were looking into it because they found out about it, and it was not reported as a homicide. That's only one instance, and ironically, it just happens to be somebody that I knew. But there's more instances. There's shootings all the time. There's deaths happening that are not being recorded properly. They're not reporting accurate numbers for crimes and homicides. So that's where we're at. So when your politicians tell you that, they're making, Massachusetts now has the strictest gun laws in the country, and they're telling you that that's for your safety, because somehow making stricter gun laws is going to make criminals stop committing crimes. Those people who are possessing firearms illegally are now all of a sudden not going to possess them illegally if you make more laws about owning guns. But it's all for your safety. So, you can't defend yourself sufficiently or, to the fullest extent because it's about your safety. But they're lying about homicide numbers. So, by lying about the numbers, that means that they're able to manipulate you, their voters, into thinking that, all like over 500 of you, like that's how many people are watching this right now and not commenting. They're manipulating you into thinking that, that they are, by passing these unconstitutional pieces of legislation, that they are improving, situations, and they're not. They're just not reporting it. There was a shooting right next to my house last weekend, and at 2:00 in the morning, and the top of my street was blocked off with caution tape, and there were about 20 cops outside, just like with flashlights, like just hanging out. Didn't come over and question anybody. My neighbors were outside having a party, loud music, grilling food on their front lawn, 2:30 in the morning. Nobody was asked any questions. They weren't told to shut off their excessively loud music at 2:00 in the morning. But hey, go yell some protest chants in front of Michelle Wu's house at 7 a.m. and you'll be in the back of a paddy wagon. But blast your music at 2:30 a.m. and a whole street full of cops are going to say nothing about it because excessive noise, right, matters so much to people. But I didn't hear anything about the shooting on my street the next day or the day after or the day after. No reporting on it. I don't know if anybody got shot. I know nothing. I know that that Joe DePina shows up at crime scenes all the time. I feel like every time I look at his Facebook, there's another shooting. But we're not hearing about it in the newspaper. We're seeing front pages with the New England Patriots as if that's something important. We're not hearing about the gun violence that's happening, and we're not going to hear about it. We're not hearing about the shoplifting and the just straight robberies that are happening to businesses all around Boston, probably all around the Commonwealth. We're not hearing about any of that. So yeah, I mean, they can lie and manipulate you into believing that they're making all of these improvements when they're not. And like people really need to start thinking, wondering, and researching, where is all of the money coming from for all of the improvements and updates that are happening everywhere? Like, how are we affording all of these electric school buses? How are we affording these anti-abortion clinic campaigns? How are we affording to be painting the roads and redesigning the roads everywhere? How are we affording to pay the people that come out to try to make us think that painting the roads and redesigning the roads is a good idea? How much money are we paying to, where's the money coming from to be upgrading and remodeling and rebuilding all of the playgrounds and all of the parks, right? And if we're so concerned about greenery and green space, why are we putting in like the fake grass, like AstroTurf stuff? Why are we taking green space away to turn it into bike lanes and bus lanes? And where are we getting the money for all this, right? And like when they're going to start coming in and start drawing lines all over your streets and taking traffic lanes away from your streets, they send in teams, you know, to events and stuff to set up tables to show you, like, look at how cool the streets are going to look, and you can ride your bike. And there's just this mysterious new bike shop that opened on the corner. We don't even know where it came from or how they knew that we were going to be putting bike lanes here, but there's bike shops everywhere now. And, you know, blue bike racks. That's another thing. How are we affording all of these blue bikes? They're everywhere. Blue bike racks with like 15 to 20 bikes on every single one of them on every corner. Where is all this money coming from? And they send these people out into the neighborhoods, and they make these changes in different neighborhoods at different times. And they make it sound like we're really taking into consideration how we can fix your neighborhood, how we can make your neighborhood better and more convenient and more comfortable and safe for you. Because we're listening to your concerns about your neighborhood. So you're going to tell me that every single neighborhood has the same concerns? Every single neighborhood somehow needs bike lanes to make it better and safer for everybody? Every single neighborhood needs reduced speed limits and speed humps on the road? Every single neighborhood needs one-way streets and right turn only and left turn only lanes and those stupid poles that they're putting all over the place? Every single neighborhood needs that. Every single neighborhood is exactly the same like that, where implementing the exact same designs is going to be best for every neighborhood across the board. And if you actually do some research, this is happening in all big cities across the country and across the world. Where is all the money coming from? Why all of a sudden, when Americans cannot afford groceries and gas for their cars, insurance premiums are skyrocketing? There was one other thing too that I was going to mention. My brain is like not here. Prices for everything are through the roof. We cannot afford to live. Okay? But somehow the government, which is funded by our taxes, can afford to be making all of these changes in all of the major cities across the globe. Flat Earth. Where's the money coming from? Why are we in a recession and they have money to burn? Why are we not able to afford our lives, but the people who work for us are making 50 to 100 grand a year more than we are? Where's the money coming from? if we're in a recession and we can't afford gas and we can't afford groceries, but we're paying property taxes, we're paying income taxes, we're paying state income taxes, federal income taxes, we're paying taxes when we sell, we're paying taxes when we buy, we're paying taxes when we do everything with our already taxed money. And then we're paying taxes to get our cars on the road. We're paying taxes to buy our cars. We're paying taxes to keep our cars on the road. We're paying taxes to keep our cars registered. We're paying taxes to keep our cars insured. We're paying taxes to do absolutely everything. And the tax percentages just keep going up. But we have money to be painting all the roads, redesigning all the roads, remodeling all the playgrounds, building massive public safety buildings, giving raises to all of the politicians, hiring hundreds of people to do fruitless, pointless jobs. The city of Boston employs like 33,000 people. What are they all doing? Like, I would say probably even 10,000 would be a stretch. How are we employing 33,000 people and why? Like Henry Santana, who was our opponent for Boston City Council last year, 27 years old, claims to be from Mission Hill, is an immigrant from the Dominican Republic. Never voted in his life either before. He was not registered to vote until he was running for office, by the way. He claims to be from Mission Hill. He went to like a private boarding school in like Maine or something for high school and then went straight into government work. Like, I don't think he's ever had like a private sector job or like a real job. I think he's only ever worked for the government, right? Because that's what they do. They mold you when you're young. And, you know, it's, you know, the better to get the immigrants than, you know, anybody else. Those are their favorites. So, you know, they take the immigrant children, giving them scholarships to school, mold them into what they want them to be, little like social justice warriors and, you know, their little government puppets. And shit, why did I just start talking about him? Damn it. I keep losing my train of thought. Before he ran for office, he was making $80,000 a year working in some made up position for the mayor. Like some, I don't know. I don't remember what his position was. Somebody tell me in the comments. Some maybe like community engagement or something. Like fucking shit. Sorry, excuse my language, but things that don't matter, that we don't need to be paying somebody $80,000 a year to do. You know, so like we were paying him $80,000 a year to do a job that was building his campaign to run for city council. And now that he's on the city council, he makes about $115,000 a year. All I've seen him do is like show up to events, cut some ribbons, thank his colleagues. Like, that's literally what the city council does. They go to events, they cut ribbons, they dance, they do photo ops, and they thank each other. And they take pictures. They take a lot of pictures. And they thank each other. And they praise each other. So, it doesn't make any sense, guys. The number keeps going up, so I'm going to keep talking. Think about it. Like, like use your brain. Like I would love to be wrong. I wish I was wrong. Again, still not claiming to be right about everything. However, if you think about it, it makes sense what I'm saying. You have to admit that it does. Where is all this money coming from? Why is everything getting rebuilt now when Americans can't afford to live? There's wars happening. There's genocides happening. There's massive amounts of immigrants coming in illegally. We're depleting our welfare system. But somehow we're paying for extravagant lifestyles for our servants, the politicians, and we're paying for renovations and paint. A whole lot of paint all over the ground and big buildings for public safety. Massive buildings for public safety. Thank you guys that are still here commenting, because I know that you guys are tired and you're just like trying to keep the comments going, but there's so many people watching that aren't saying anything. So I don't know. They can't all be police and agents, right? Some of them have to be real people that are thinking about what I just said. Doesn't make any sense where all of the money is coming from. And the whole thing with that's like, we have something called like Vision Boston 2020 or something. They have like interesting names, these projects that they do where they like redevelop and reimagine Boston. I think one of them's called, and it's called like Mayor Wu's Reimagine Boston plan, or like Marty Walsh's Vision Boston 2050, or like they have all these like crazy names to make it look like they came up with them, right? Like AOC came up with the Green New Deal, or Edmark, I don't know who came up with the Green New Deal, or who came up with the Green New Deal, but they have all these different names in all the different places, but it's all the same plans. Oh, you think that it's just a coincidence that everybody came up with these plans all at the same time? There's bike lanes going in every major city all over the world, and it's a coincidence. You don't have to be a crazy conspiracy theorist to think that that's kind of weird. But yeah, we are voluntarily trading our freedom for convenience. We're choosing to be ignorant, or as my friend likes to say, ignorant, because we're ignoring the facts right in front of our faces, and we are just complacent because we have way too many distractions and a whole bunch of nothingness keeping us from caring about what's going on in the world. Republicans are just Democrats here in Mass. Yeah, they're all the same. They're all the same. Oh, I really do appreciate you guys staying up to be the only 4 commenters out of almost 600 people watching. It's interesting. Oh. I'm seeing comments from you now. That's weird. No, because before that one, I see this one. I'm going to keep scrolling, keep trying to find it. This is like really bothering me, probably more than it should. Yeah, I don't see anything else from you, dude. We should make a bet on how many times Chip Goins is going to post about me and Sean tomorrow. It literally is like morning to night that this guy is posting. Oh, now I have to find this comment again. That this guy posts about us. It's crazy. He's obsessed. But, yeah. So, thank you. People do hate to admit when they're wrong. That's like our biggest downfall as a society. I would like to be proven wrong on a lot of the things that I'm pretty sure are true. I wish that they weren't. What if I'm gonna look at these comments on this post. The post has 1.5 million views. So actually there's a good portion of you who came here after I talked about the post. So maybe I'll talk about it again real quick before I get off here. Oh, hi, YouTube. I don't have many viewers on YouTube. I don't know how to like build a following on YouTube. It's really hard. Same thing with Rumble. It seems to be easy for other people to build a following on Rumble, but I guess I'm just not like working on it the right way or something. Yeah. So let's look at these comments for a second. Hold on. So I made a post a couple weeks ago that just went viral a little bit over the past 24 hours because of this guy who was obsessed with trolling me and my friend Sean Nelson. And it's gone viral like on the liberal side of Twitter, which is fun for me because I'm usually like in an echo chamber of only people who agree with me. So other than like the handful of trolls that I have. So, and what the trolls do is they block the conservative accounts so that when they are like coming at the neck of somebody like me or Sean, nobody is there to back us up because nobody can see what they're saying. Nobody knows that it's happening because they block all the people that are affiliated with us. So it is a good strategy, I guess. But I mean, who's more horrified of having a conversation than a Democrat or liberal, socialists? Like these people literally are horrified to have a conversation. Like even with me, just like unemployed mom, government leech, like they'll watch me all day and they'll talk about me all day, but they will not have an actual like in-person or live conversation with me. They're scared. I don't understand why. I don't think I'm scary. I just walked into that one. That'll be a meme tomorrow. There'll be a clip of that. I guarantee you. I don't think I'm scary. Okay, so hold on. Let's look at these comments for a second and see how the DEI people are so loving and inclusive and such great people. I've never seen conservatives talk to people. I mean, there seem to be some conservatives that are also saying rude things to me. And, but I mean, the Republicans, the conservative people are not nasty like this, like the majority of them. Don't see 600 viewers on Facebook or Rumble or YouTube. Right, there's not. Most of the viewers are on Twitter because that's where all the trolls are, and that's where the viral post was. And I'm going to show you. Hold on. Well, what was the post? All right, I'm going to show you the post. So it started because I was streaming live the other night in Boston Common when I found out when I was having a back and forth with a police officer because I was pulled over in a bike lane waiting to pick up my friend. And the officer told me to get out of the bike lane and go double park on the street instead. So like block traffic of cars, block the flowing traffic and congest traffic instead of pulling over in the bike lane. And God forbid the bicyclists need to pop up on the sidewalk for a second. Or, I mean, they weave in and out of traffic car lanes all day anyway. So, and you know, it's okay for the cops to be pulled over in the bike lane, and it's okay for delivery people to be pulled over in a bike lane, but not me. I wasn't there for like more than 10 minutes. And I had my hazards on. Like I wasn't outside of my car. I wasn't leaving my car there. But he told me to leave. And I told him, no, like I'm waiting for my friend. Told me he was going to give me a ticket. I said, okay. And he went to get me a ticket. When he came back, he told me my license was suspended. And I had no idea. And it had been suspended since July 1st for unpaid toll fees that I didn't know that I had. And so I was streaming live when all that happened. So these trolls went and took clips of my live stream. And because when I stream live, when I'm outside doing something, I'm usually streaming live on Facebook. When I'm home here, right now I'm on 5 different platforms. But so these Twitter trolls are apparently watching my Facebook too, which I didn't really know that. And I think it's kind of weird and creepy. And they're like men. So I don't understand like why they have so much time to be watching me the way that they do. They must be getting paid. Because they're getting paid because I am a very vocal critic of Michelle Wu, and I was very effective in embarrassing her with some other people when she came into office. So that's why like my local government just goes to great lengths to silence me and try to make me look bad and like not credible. So anyway, they were watching, they took clips and posted them on Twitter, clowning me for having a suspended license. And basically the post was made to suggest, it was made to give the perception that I got my license suspended because I was parked in a bike lane. And that's not what happened. So that post was getting a lot of views. And then this guy, Chip Goins, from Twitter, crazy catless, what is it? Catless Cat Lady or something his name is. This guy who works for like Harvard University and WGBH and worked on Ayanna Presley's campaign and Michelle Wu's campaign and all of them. He literally spends day and night posting about myself and my friend Sean because we ran for Boston City Council last year, and he is probably paid to troll us, because if he's not paid, then I honestly feel really sorry for his life that he devotes so much time into trolling me and Sean. But he had commented on that post that somebody made about my license being suspended with sharing a post that I had made a couple of weeks ago of myself wearing a Trump hat, and the caption was like, it looks like a good day to go trigger some liberals or whatever. So that post started going viral last night, and it hasn't stopped all day today. It's just getting like tons of views, tons of comments, and it's all like leftist type people. So it's just a bunch of hate toward me, a bunch of negativity, and I'm going to go look at the comments now with you guys. So, oh, you can't even see it. How can I make this bigger? That's annoying. Is there any way to make this bigger? I should have taken screenshots and prepared for this, I guess. I didn't even think of it. I don't know how to make it bigger. But anyway, so we have somebody who says, bless your heart, us nice humans aren't triggered by you. We just feel really sorry for you. To be filled with so much hate and incitement only means you've been very hurt by someone, and we just wish you peace and happiness instead of jumping on rhetoric of hate to mask your pain. And I just don't know how I've been hateful ever. Somebody says no one cares. Somebody, oh, so this is the original post, actually. So that's the picture of me. I said, seems like a nice day to go trigger some liberals. Hold on. Should have moved when asked. Never would have gotten a ticket. You were in the wrong. I mean, I wasn't going to block traffic. I wasn't going to pull all the way over. Like, my friend was coming in 2 seconds. I don't need you to agree with me. I mean, again, like I said to the cop, he could have given the grace to give me a minute or two for my friend to come back, and I was leaving. I wasn't planning on staying there, you know. He didn't have to give me the ticket. I was leaving. I mean, if I was just like, no, I'm not going, I'm staying here like forever, I'm not driving away, and then that's one thing. But I wasn't being an asshole. I was just like, no, like, you know, you guys don't stop the bike riders from driving in the car lanes. Like, why? You know, I'm not trying to stay here. I'm just picking somebody up. And basically, like, he felt like I was being an asshole to him, so he wanted to be an asshole back. That was my depiction of the situation. But you can think I was wrong. That's fine. When something doesn't make sense to me, I don't go with it. Like, I question it. I make a point to call things out when they don't make sense to me. Mostly Republicans on Twitter. Most Democrats ditch Twitter. I mean, by the looks of my comments, I don't know. I don't know. All right, so that's the post, right? And then I have to like go back. So like when I'm looking at the Twitter screen, I can't read the comments over here. I use logic, right? I use my brain. I try to be a thinker. I try. You could have followed the rules. Everyone saw bikes going around you. Yeah. Do you drive a vehicle? Have you never been driving down the street in a city and had a bike cut you off, or a bike driving in front of you that is not going as fast as the speed limit? So you need to slow down because there's just an arrogant bicyclist in front of you when you're trying to drive to get somewhere. Nobody's pulling them over. I mean, this bike lane in downtown Boston is the same size as a car lane. It's dangerous for bicyclists to be on the street. People are dying because they're getting hit by cars, because they do not obey traffic laws. They're not made to obey traffic laws. They don't have insurance. They're not wearing helmets. They got their kids in caddies on the backs of their bikes, weaving through traffic, running red lights. These bike lanes are putting people in danger, not the cars, not the drivers of the vehicles. The fact that the government is enticing people to want to ride their bikes in the streets because they're giving them their own lane. It's ridiculous. So no, I'm not going to follow rules that don't make sense. I'm like, again, that's how you walk yourself happily into a dictatorship, by just following rules just because they're rules, by taking orders just because somebody in a uniform and a badge is telling you to follow the order. That's how you end up in a communist country under a dictatorship. So please, just try to be a little bit more open-minded. Please don't just blindly follow rules because you think that you're supposed to respect and obey authority. Okay, because that's not how we came to be a free country, and we're definitely not going to go back to being a free country with people with mindsets like you. Please do not follow rules that don't make sense. Please do not. So when they don't allow it anymore, you're going to be fine on your bicycle and your scooter when they don't allow privately owned vehicles anymore, and you're not allowed to travel anywhere outside of 15 minutes away from your home. You'll be content with that? Being obnoxious is not illegal. Being obnoxious is not a crime. I really wish that people would stop thinking that it is in any way acceptable for a police officer to charge you with a crime or to do anything retaliatory toward you because you have a bad attitude. We have every right and we have a moral obligation to question authority when they are ordering us to do things that don't make sense. It is our obligation. We have a duty to disobey unjust laws. Martin Luther King Jr. said that. The simple-mindedness. Courts are corrupt, just like the police are corrupt, just like the politicians are corrupt. The politicians control absolutely everything because we have allowed it to get this far. We've allowed them to have complete control and to rule over us. They make the laws. They employ the people who enforce the laws. They employ the people who uphold the enforcement of the laws in the courts. So 9 times out of 10, in my opinion, we're not going to win in court. But I will be fighting the ticket. It's right here. It's a $90 ticket for being parked in a no parking zone. I will be fighting it. I probably won't win, but I'm going to fight it anyway because it's the right thing to do, because it's a ridiculous rule The bike lanes are ridiculous. They shouldn't be taking away pieces. The roads are for cars. They are not for bikes. Get over it. Especially when you're right next to the Boston Common that has paths all through and lovely scenery for you to ride your bike through. There's no need for you to be on the street, putting your life in danger. No, I don't know. Trolls, they lie. Tolls were supposed to be temporary, and people just believed all the shit. Taxes were supposed to be temporary. Everything that they say is temporary ends up lasting way longer than they said it would. I asked for money to pay the toll fees, not to pay the ticket. Because if I appeal the ticket, then I'm going to have to go to court anyway. So it's not like, yeah, you have 21 days to send in a payment or an appeal. So even if I were to have to pay the ticket, I don't need to pay it right now. I was asking for money to help me pay the toll fees, and I'm keeping my Cash App and my Venmo up because this is what I do, and I'm unemployed, and it costs money, and people appreciate the things that I do. So I'm on here. There's almost 700 people at this point watching, and I'm providing information and a service to people. People are seeing things that are going on in Boston that they may not have known about otherwise, and that are going on in the rest of the state that they may not have known about otherwise. I'm a citizen journalist. I'm an activist. And there's plenty of citizen journalists and activists all over the internet posting their Cash Apps and their Venmos, and people are paying them to do the same work that I'm doing. But here you are, criticizing me as if I'm lying about what I need money for. Yeah, that's why I'm asking for money, because the bills need to be paid. Things need to be paid for. Why does anybody ask people for money? Oh yeah, I heard about that. Right. I don't make an income off of this. Like, report me to welfare. What is MS Life? Is it Miss Life or MS Life? Right. Right. People claim to be like wanting to empower other people and wanting to uplift other people and not shame people for being poor. But here we are. Yeah, so that's the post. And then if you go and you look at the comments, hold on, I'm going to refresh this. And also check the Instagram to see if there's, well, if there's 650 people watching on Twitter, then yeah. And you can see right here How many people are watching? 1.5 million views on this post. That's the reason for this live right now, because all of the people who are all about diversity, equity, and inclusion, and not shaming people based on like the way that they look or their low income and all of that, those people don't, their morals and ways of life don't apply when they're talking about somebody who they don't like or they disagree with. So what a sad existence. Yeah, they are a few sandwiches short of a picnic. Because they are, they're calling me they because they said that I look like a man. Because they are super weird and this is their life. Friends have likely stopped calling because her whole personality seems to be Trump. Maybe some family is left, but that's iffy. Sadly, it's all they have. You have other joys in life, but lots of MAGAs only have Trump and spreading hate. Oh well. At least we can mute them on here and continue on with our days. Her need to feel like she has power over people. Trolls like her seek to trigger those they know deep down are far better people in order to feel powerful and important, and are always oblivious to just how little power they truly have. Overinflation of her MAGA importance. Who's going to tell her? Their only reason is to shock and trigger people. Sadism? It's only showing me like a limited amount of comments. There's 1.5 thousand comments here, and that's all that I can see. I don't know. Twitter on, most relevant. Latest. Twitter on the computer screen is really weird and it's hurting my eyes. Okay, so apparently you can only see limited comments, or I'm doing something wrong. I don't know. Oh, I'm not triggered. You are. I guess this is what MTG was talking about regarding hot Republicans. Well, this was easy to debunk. Honey, anybody, says the person who needs to have Trump in their display name, and was so untriggered that they had to comment on somebody that they don't know because they've never seen this person before. What's your weight? It's coming from somebody whose thing is Harris 2024. What's your weight? That's weird. You need a new hobby. This was the first and only time I ever made a post like this. Also a nice day to start dieting. I'm triggered by your goatee. She got some huge, though. That should count for something. Get a facelift. Words that I'm not going to say out loud. I'm only triggered by your stank yellow teeth. You certainly look like a Trumper. If you eat more, you will trigger more people. Let me guess, you are on your way to a double Whopper with extra ranch for your fries? Go drink your dumb juice. When people openly laugh at you, that's not called being triggered. Liberals reject bad pork. Only thing you're doing is letting others know where the idiot sheep are by wearing that POS made in China hat. Trigger not, just showing you support a rapey crook. So they think that I support Joe Biden, I think. But it's just like, I know, right? Like 1.5 million views. I've never gotten that many views on anything. It's insane. And it doesn't matter what your comment says. The more you comment, the better my numbers are. So thank you. I've never seen a neck eat a tattoo before. Good on ya. I laugh at creatures like you. The only thing triggering me is your face. Really? Why? Oh, it's National Dog Day. I get it now. No liberal cares that you spent $40 in a MAGA hat made in China. Oh, spent. No liberal cares that you spent $40 on a MAGA hat made in China. I mean, isn't everything made in China because we are owned by China, basically? How many chins do you have? Why are you so obsessed with me? Hey. I know. No one cares about you. That's your contribution to your family and community. I suppose it is the best you can do. Fat pig. Irma Good, no license, lock her up. You just admitted to being one of the dumb ladies of the Republican Party. People who find joy in upsetting other people are genuinely regarded as bad people. They get called assholes and nobody likes them. Consider that. And it's just like, I'm really intrigued about the fact that the number of viewers on this keeps going up, because every couple minutes I'm like, this is getting so boring, the number's going to start dropping. And then I look and it's gone up more. What was I just going to say? Hold on, let me read that last one again. People who find joy in upsetting other people. So no, I do not find joy in upsetting other people. I just want to normalize uncomfortable conversations. The only way to do that is to force people into the uncomfortable situation and conversation. By, you know, like if I just walk up to somebody and start talking about Trump, then it's like, you never know what kind of a day somebody's having, right? So the conversation doesn't always go that way. And I don't think I'm really like a great conversation starter anyway. So walking up to somebody with a piece of apparel that says Trump, they're going to be the one to react to it. And then I get to have that conversation with them. So I'm not trying to make somebody upset, but it's something that gets, for some reason, people can't control their emotions with the mention or the name Trump. Like, it's insane, and it shouldn't be that way. We need to, like, people should not be so sensitive to a hat. Like, insane. Why why do people, like, I just, why? Can anybody tell me? And I think I had around like 400 viewers earlier when I said, if anybody who disagrees with me wants to come on camera and have a conversation about it, come on here with me. Because there's tons of you watching. So if you want to come disagree and not be a coward, and say it to my face instead of behind a screen, let's have a conversation. That's the whole point of all of this. It's not to upset people. It's to start a conversation of why are you upset? Why does what somebody you don't even know does with their life affect you? Like you think that people who support Trump are like anti-LGBTQ, for example. And so if somebody's anti-LGBTQ, it is typically the liberals' wish that that person would just not care or be accepting of what that person chooses to do with their life, right? In my experience, from what I see, from what I've seen all over the country, is that I don't think I have maybe come across a very small handful, if that, of people who are anti-LGBTQ, and it's not even out loud, like they just, grew up that way or something. But the very vast majority of people do not care who's in your bed. So, like if you want us to be okay with you and accept you as who you are, which we do, because we're not the ones like yelling at you or refusing to do business with you because of your lifestyle choices. We don't care about your lifestyle choices because they don't affect our lives. But I wear a hat outside and you don't want to do business with me. You don't want to talk to me. You want to take a picture of me but not engage in conversation. Who's the one that is excluding somebody? Who's the one that is ostracizing somebody? It's not me with the Trump hat. Who's the one who's hateful? Not me with the Trump hat. You're refusing to do business with me because I'm wearing a Trump hat. I was going to spend money at your business, but you're discriminating against me because I'm wearing a Trump hat. But if I were to discriminate against you because you're trans, then that would be a problem. It doesn't make any sense, guys. I know. I met Scott Pressler a couple months ago. He says that he's going to come help us. He's going to come help us in Massachusetts next year. No, that's not true. Because my friend Sean Nelson is Black and gay, and he gets it worse than I do sometimes. They, saying they is weird, or the fact that a bunch of people in my comments are saying they? Both. But yeah, so they're misgendering me. They're saying that I look like a man. Sweetie, you just look dumb as F. No one is triggered. Except for you. Seems like a nice day to mix in a salad. You're showing how stupid you are. You wish. So, but then we could go and see. Wait, how do I look at my notifications on here? I have no idea how to use Twitter on a computer. Where are the notifications? Notifications, right, with the blue thing on it. So this is chip coins. And this is him retweeting the post of me again. This is him posting me smoking a cigarette on a live stream. I'm on his page right now. This is him saying, if you needed more proof that Boston City Council candidate Kathy Vitale is an anti-Semite, she just retweeted an article from the editor of neo-Nazi blog, The Daily Stormer. Hate mongers like Vitale have no place in Boston. Vitale for Boston deleted the retweet, but screenshots are forever, you anti-Semitic coward. I don't delete anything. I retweeted that and it's still there. So my only question to Boston City Council at large candidate Catherine Vitale are, why do you hate Jews? So now he's trying a different angle. So it didn't work with the MAGA hat thing because I'm gaining viewership because of it. So now he's trying like the anti-Semitic thing. And that's his page. Like all of his posts are about me. And he continuously calls, like, this is free promotion for my campaign next year if I run again. Because there is no campaign happening right now. I'm not a candidate for anything right now. And he just continuously posts about me and tags me and calls me a candidate for city council at large. Like, you could not pay for promotion this good. You couldn't. I'm going to keep scrolling though, because like it doesn't end. This should definitely disqualify her from ever holding office, right? Because being anti-Semitic is like a million times worse than being racist, right? And anybody who ever dares to have a question about something or a different opinion about something, they shouldn't be able to hold a job. They shouldn't be able to have a job or be in public office or like participate in society because they don't agree with everything that the narrative is. Oh, and here he goes posting about Trump. Blue bikes. And there's another post about me. Oh, what's this? Oh, I don't even know this person. What is Vitale for Boston more afraid of? Asking Boss Polly, which is the hashtag for Boston politics. Am I more afraid of bike lanes or spinach? Totally bike lanes. Yep, 63% said bike lanes. Absolutely, because I love spinach and ricotta. Oh no, okay. So now I'm on this person's page. How do I go back? This is going to mess me all up now. Meanwhile, she breaks the law the next day driving to Boston Common again. I did not. I have lovely friends that have been helping me driving my car since I found out that my license is suspended. Thank you very much. Boston for Trump volunteer. Ew, it's Boston for Trump co-chair. Kathy Vitale brags that her tweet below hit over 1 million views, but does she realize why it did? And has she checked the thousands of comments and hundreds of quote tweets dragging her for why it went viral? It's because she was driving with a suspended driver's license. And I was that day because I didn't know that my license was suspended. But it's like literally everything that he posts is about me. Well, not everything that he posts is about me, but every day he's posting something about me. He has to be getting paid. Like, why else would he spend this much time talking about me and Sean? Like, if it's not one, it's the other. If you're not talking about me, he's talking about Sean. Also, Kathy Vitale, and this is a post. No, I said driving with a revoked license, speeding, operating uninsured motor vehicle, operating unregistered. I was just naming her charges that she could have had because she didn't get arrested. She crashed into, this is when, hold on, I'm going to check the comments because I can't see if you guys are saying anything while I'm over there. It should be considered libel, right? But so if you can see that picture right there, that is the picture of when the elected city councilor last year, Kendra Lara, drove into somebody's house. Reckless driving, child endangerment. Her 6-year-old, I believe he was 6, autistic child was not in a seatbelt. And she drove into somebody's car. I never commented about the fact that her license had been suspended for years. Like, I may have mentioned it, that could have been one of the charges, because I think that on that post from a year ago, I was just listing all of the charges and I was like, why isn't she arrested? Like, if this had happened to any normal person, they'd be arrested. Why didn't she get arrested? She crashed into somebody's house. So reckless driving, reckless endangerment of a child. And we found out like later that night that her license had been suspended for like years at that point. And I never, like, I don't like Kendra Lara and don't agree with her politically on almost anything. Actually, that's not true. I actually have probably more agreements with her than you would think. But I didn't say anything about, and she was living, while she was the city councilor, she was living in low income housing. That was another thing that everybody used to dog her for, and I never did, because I mean, not only because I have Section 8, but because that's like, you don't know what somebody's situation is to talk about them like that. Like, you know, it's different if somebody is like grossly abusing the system, like right in their face, or like, you know, in a ridiculous way. But like, we are trying to survive and trying to get out. Trust me, nobody's like happy to be on welfare. Okay, like, we would love to get out. It would be great. But I didn't say anything about her having a suspended license because I don't even agree that we should have to have a license. That doesn't mean that I would drive without a license because I've seen bad things happen to people when they try to do stuff like that. So that scares me because police are reckless. Yeah. Yeah, over 700 viewers. Mm-hmm. Oh, this is about me too. This is somebody I don't even know that he reposted this person. I've never even seen this person's account. Vitali for Boston is pretty much these people. Who are these people? Oh, KKK people. She is anti-desegregation. What a racist. This is from a post from February. I'm not anti-desegregation. I'm anti-forced anything. I'm I don't think that, I think that the busing was a very bad idea. And anytime the government forces us to do anything, it's a bad idea. Boston for Trump's Catherine Vitale. And we're still on today, by the way. We're still only at 8 hours ago. And look at how many times he's posted about me. Boston for Trump's Catherine Vitale in a nutshell. And what is this? Because I was commenting on how often he posts about me. It's creepy. Like, I genuinely do hope that he's getting paid, and I really hope that he's not just spending all of his time keeping up with me because he hates me. This is also about me. Should we drop a dime to her insurance company? I'm sure they'd appreciate it. Not about Trump. There's me again. And there's me again. I'm surprised I haven't come across anything about Sean yet, but that's because I'm still in this same 24 hours. Boston voters, Vitali for Boston is already a criminal. Who wants to put a criminal on the Boston City Council? Don't vote for criminals. What? Catherine Vitali, when you share anti-Semitic content and befriend anti-Semites online, guess what that makes you? An anti-Semite. Catherine Vitali, officer, I didn't know my driver's license was suspended for a month. I promise I won't drive again until I fix it. Kathy Vitali, the very next day. The very next day, me standing in Boston Common. Oh, there's no possible way that I could have gotten to Boston Common without driving myself there. And then this is about Sean. Sean, do you have a driver's license? Because if you don't, that means Vitali for Boston broke the law again, driving on a suspended license on the way to Boston Common. Gun rally. Whatever. It's all about me and Sean. All about me and Sean. He's obsessed. He's obsessed. He's obsessed. There's me again. There's me again. There's me again. Oh, there's me again. There's me again. Cat Vitali for Boston. Oh, congrats on getting your followers to pay your Easy Pass tolls. Perhaps you can grift $75 out of them too, so you can pay for your Mass DCF mandated DNA test for your kid in your child support lawsuit this week, Kathy. Kathy, so that's another thing. That's another thing. He watches court records. He watches court records and he somehow knows about my situations in court. And even worse, he knows about the outcomes of my situations in court before I do. He has known judges' decisions before I've known them. He has over 7,000 followers. This is somebody who Ayanna Pressley is like friends with, like praises. Somebody who helped get Ayanna Pressley into office. Somebody who is friends with like all of the Boston politicians. Like a media person, works at Harvard University, like literally friends with all of them. And he watches court records for my name. Like he gets alerts. Anytime I post on social media, he gets alerts when my name comes up on a docket list. I've never met this man. I've been in the same building as him, in the same courtroom as him one time, but I've never spoken to him in person. And I've only been in the same place as him one time. And he just is obsessed with talking about me and Sean. Kathy is lying. Massachusetts notifies you in writing in advance of a pending license suspension for this stuff. I'm sure EasyPass does too. They told me that my registration would be non-renewable. I never heard or knew that your license could be suspended for unpaid parking tickets or tolls. So my license doesn't expire until 2027. So, I mean, typically, like I'm poor. So usually like parking tickets and tolls are not the biggest priority all the time. And a lot of the time, because I'm poor, I end up having to scramble and pay for these things last minute when it's time to renew. And my registration was up for renewal this month. So I actually just paid off like a huge chunk of unpaid tickets a couple weeks ago. So I was at the registry. Nobody told me my license was suspended. I was at the registry like 3 or 4 times since my license was suspended. And I had no idea. I was driving to the registry. I had no idea. Nobody ever told me. I didn't get a letter. I didn't get anything. I've gotten correspondence from EasyPass, and it says that, if you don't pay this, your registration will be non-renewable. My registration expires this month. So I'm like, I got to get this stuff paid because it's time to renew my registration. No idea that my license was suspended. Like I drive every day. I have to drive. Why would I lie and just drive around on a suspended license for 2 months? I just finished my last court case. Like I'm done with court cases right now. Why would I just go out and get another one for something that's not even related to activism? Come on. Use your brain, Chippy. Boston City Council candidate Catherine Vitale. Driver's license suspended due to $90 in unpaid EasyPass tolls, but she claims she had no idea. Oh, there I am again. And there's Sean. That's an edited picture, by the way. And did Sean make that picture? RFK, JD Vance, talking about me again. The only people she triggered were the cops. Um, yeah. Oh my God, Vitali for Boston. How long have you been driving with a suspended license? There I am again. There is a screenshot from one of my Facebook posts. There I am again. There I am again. There I am again. There I am again. There's me. So I think that this is just, oh, I'm in this one too. So this one, I love this picture. Actually, I don't know who made it, but they made it during the campaigning last year. And this is like all of the conservative Democrat people of City Hall, and then me and Sean. Somebody made this picture. It's so funny. Oh, good times. And he's posting it now, still. And it's over a year later. He must have like a folder of screenshots of me, right? He has to have a Catherine and Sean folder on his phone or on his computer. Because he always has stuff. Here's Sean. So this is us bringing some fruit and stuff down to Masson Castle a couple weeks ago, thanks to Blexit. And he's complaining that I drove to Masson Cass to give homeless people food and water on a suspended license. So I don't know. I think I'm done looking at his page, but I mean, you guys don't get to see it. So I thought that would be funny to look at for a second. But I'm tired. Oh, I thought it was like going on 1 o'clock in the morning, and I just realized it's going on 2 o'clock in the morning. I need to go to sleep. You guys need to go to sleep. I don't even understand why you're up watching this right now. I hope that there's over 700 people. Like a lot of you are on like overnight shifts, and you've got nothing better to do or something. Like I hope that we're all not staying up at 2 o'clock in the morning to talk about chip points. But yeah, I don't see really anybody saying anything else in the comments, even though, again, the viewer numbers keep going up. So strange. I just have to wonder how many agents are watching and taking notes. You're the Democrats and Rhino's worst nightmare. Night night. I don't know who you are, but I hope you follow me and stay in touch. It was nice talking with you. Yeah, so thanks for watching. If you want to stay up to date with what we're doing, I'm going to be working on putting out like the first of a series of or kind of like the first of the new and improved email list that I've neglected to stay up to date with since my campaign last year. So I'm going to be sending out an email soon. So if you want to sign up for the email list, you can go to boston2boston.com. That's TO, boston2boston.com. And sign up for emails from there. And don't judge me by the lack of content on that website. I'm trying here. I'm not a web designer, and I have to be in like a certain mood to sit down and like try to put a website together. So I don't have much on there, but And thank you for watching. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for interacting. I wish that more people would interact, especially the ones that don't agree with me, because uncomfortable conversations need to happen. And yeah, go Trump. And it's been fun. I think this is, I'm pretty sure this is the longest live stream I've ever done by myself. I've done long ones, but with other people. At 3 hours and 20 minutes, I've been live on 5 platforms. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and Rumble. Am I still on Instagram? I am. I'm still on Instagram. I saw something earlier that suggested that maybe they stopped the Instagram live like after an hour or something. But I don't remember what I was saying because I'm so tired. Thank you for watching. If you want to stay in contact, follow on my platforms. My name is Catherine Vitale from Boston. I'm an activist. I've been an activist for 3 years. Ran for Boston City Council at large last year. And if it's in God's plans, I will be running again next year. And my biggest fan is a man named Chip Goins, who works at Harvard University. And there's hundreds of people on Twitter that are triggered because I made a post wearing a MAGA hat. So I came on here tonight to talk about that, and we did that, and apparently they're all watching now. So I'm going to say goodnight, and I will see you guys maybe tomorrow. Who knows? Sweet dreams.